All right, welcome everybody. It's Brad Show Live. My name is Brad Bernstein. It's the pandemic edition, right from my living room, quarantined right here in New York City. It is Hump Day. We're trying to do the best we can here, and I want to say hello to the entire squad. There I am, giving myself the big thumbs up, and I have to say hello to Latoya His Forever Peterson, saying squad up everybody. She is the first person. As soon as we went live, boom, right there. I mean, it was like it's milliseconds. She's already saying squad up everybody. She was waiting for this show to start. Lovey Lima Tango, how are you? She's saying hello team, how you all doing? Elsia Enot saying squad up Brad, Earth Angel, Keisha, squad up Uncle Brad, all of this on Facebook. We are live. Jasmine McDonald, squad up family. Nuri Mo can't even wait to say hello to me. Jumping right into a question. Nuri, we're going to get to you in a few minutes, I promise you. But Nuri is the first one with an immigration question, and we will get to Nuri in about 10 minutes or so about Nuri's I-45 application. Don't forget to leave your questions in the comment section because this is the pandemic quarantine edition of Brad Show Live. We can't take any calls over the air, but we can answer all of your social media check-in questions. So please check in on social media by leaving your questions in the comment section, whether it's on Facebook or it's on YouTube. Dawn Harriet saying, squad up my people. Danny Shaw saying, hi, Uncle Brad, how are you? Martin, and by the way, Latoya His Forever Peterson, because I said, boy, she was in there like milliseconds, and she says, yes, I was. Martin Allison, how you doing? Squad up, Uncle Brad, how you doing? I'm doing okay. I'm quarantined here, and as I told you in the meme that I watched yesterday, I just keep thinking about it. Somebody ate a bat, and then there was a run on toilet paper, and now we're all going crazy in quarantine, and that is the definition of batshit crazy. But that's what's going on right now in the world. But hopefully, as you will get to learn in my schmooze in a few minutes, hopefully we've reached that peak and we're on the backside of the coronavirus curve, and hopefully we will be able to venture out of our home. It will be a new normal. It's not going to be the old normal. It's going to be a new normal. And we'll see how the new normal works out. But hopefully we'll at least be able to crawl out from our rocks and crawl out from wherever we are and hopefully be able to start life again in something that will be different. And we'll see what that different is. Nobody really knows yet. Danny Shaw saying, love you and you're the best. Be safe, squad. That's very nice. I guess loves the entire squad, not just me, loves the entire squad. He's given love, Danny Shaw, to everybody. Lovey Lima Tango, she's playing board games. I'm a big Scrabble person. I'm very good with Scrabble. Not so good at backgammon, terrible at chess. I get very bored with Monopoly. What board games have you guys been playing? That's basically everything I've got in my apartment. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, saying, hi, Brad, squad up. I wasn't prepared to go to the toy store and get all these board games before we were going to be quarantined. Dawn Harriet, hope everyone is doing okay. Who else we got here? Lovey Lima, you are bearing up, Uncle Brad. I certainly am. I was clean shave, Uncle Brad, when we were in the studio, and then in quarantine, I became Scruffy Brad. Now, as Lovey mentions, I am Bear Brad, or I guess I don't know what you'd call me, Bear Brad, I guess. Christopher Fulton, Brad, looking scruffy. I'm more than scruffy, Christopher. But he says it's always a pleasure. I'm beyond scruffy. This is quarantine. This is quarantine time. So nobody's shaving in quarantine time. Maybe tomorrow, I'll see. And he says it's always a pleasure. He's learned a lot from watching our show. On YouTube, Carol Anderson, the Tiger, she's double fisting. She's saying hello both on Facebook and YouTube. She's double fisting today. We're not on Instagram. We'll figure out hopefully how to do it in the future, but we're not on Instagram Live right now. but hopefully we'll figure out how to do it in the future so Carol can double fist with a left foot. But right now she is double fisting. Hello, Carol. How are you? Fiona Campbell on YouTube, squad up. Ishan Khan with a question as well. We're going to get to all of your immigration questions very soon. He has a question about his I-751. Oluwabusola Ross has such a difficult first name, very simple second name. Oluwabusola Ross says, hi, Brad. How are you? Be safe, please. I need to talk to you about my son. I need to file for him now. Then what you need to do is give my office a call. We have people standing by right now. You can schedule. I have a schedule every day of people that need to speak to me, whether they are, whether they are existing clients or whether they are new clients. And I have my list, and I go through my list every day, and I call everybody. So if you need to speak to me, you got to get on Uncle Brad's list, and I will call you the next day. And the best way to get on my list, call my office now. Say, I want to be on the list. I want to have a consultation. It's 1-800-529-5465, 1-800-529-5465. And I've just noticed in the video, I'll be one-armed lawyer. I have a second arm. I haven't raised it yet, but trust me, I do have two arms. I just noticed I'm just waving one arm, and there's another arm that doesn't exist. Ken Kibbard, how are you? Hi, Brad. Did you file an adjustment through? Oh, he has a question too. We'll get back to you in a little bit. Yes, so Oluwabusolo, it's 1-800-529-5465, and you'll see in the lower thirds, you will see the telephone number. Scroll through too. Each day we get better and better at this. Eventually, we're going to get perfect at doing these pandemic editions from my home, and just as we get perfect, they'll say, okay, you can leave now, go back to your office. But right now, we're getting better and better. Happy Hump Day. We do have some Hump Day stuff coming up. Tracy Lacey, Julia Munoz, have any personal idea when the USCIS reopens? They say it's going to be May 3rd. That's what they list. Whether or not it gets extended beyond May 3rd, I don't know. But right now, it is May 3rd. And Fiona Campbell also double fisting on YouTube and Facebook. Michelle Reed, back to Facebook. Michelle Reed saying, hi, squad. How are you? Rose Edson with a question. We'll get to you in a little bit. Danny Shah, how are you? LaChina with a question as well. We're going to get to you, LaChina. And Dawn Harriet, Brad, how is the staff doing? I text this, I don't see them, unfortunately. I text, we have a group text for the office every day, and I text everybody, and everybody puts on their brave face, and just like all you in the squad as well, we all wake up every morning, we put on our brave face, we look at the day's events, and we just have to be courageous and do our job and know and hope that eventually this will all be over. So as far as I can tell, everybody is doing well. Thank you very much. Yo-Yo squad up. How are you? Yo-Yo is in the house. And I think we're getting that technology in place, Yo-Yo, that we're going to get you back here co-hosting very soon. So let's keep our fingers crossed on that. AJ Althea saying hello. How are you? Vina Gibson. Hiya, Brad. Hiya, Vina. Arfan Thakur saying hello. Marlene Watt Russell saying hi with 4 camels. And, of course, Jilly Bean in the comment section saying, happy social distancing Hump Day squad. All right. Before I get, you know what? Should I schmooze first, or should we do the contest first? You know what? I'm going to schmooze first and let everyone get comfy while we check on what's going on in the world today. Then we're going to talk. Then we're going to pick out Uncle Brad's scruffy old hat, the winner of the free consultation. I'm going to ask everybody to please share, start their watch parties, and we'll get right into our immigration questions, which is the meat and potatoes of the show. So it is Wednesday, April 15th. It is Hump Day. The coronavirus update globally now, there are over 2 million confirmed coronavirus cases. There's 128,000 deaths that are confirmed worldwide. In the United States, more than 610,000 people have been tested and infected with coronavirus. 26,000 of them have died. Now, that number is substantially lower, the number of people infected with coronavirus. I even read an article in the newspaper today that a pediatrician in New York feels, and this is just his opinion, that 80% of the children in New York under 18 are walking around asymptomatic with coronavirus or had it at some point in time. So I would believe that the number of infected people who don't even know they have it or had mild symptoms is much greater than the 610,000 that are confirmed infected. That's 610,000 confirmed infected in the United States who actually got tested. Now, the number of deaths in the United States has increased by more than 2,200, according to Johns Hopkins University. And it was not immediately clear why this increase. The previous high was 2,100 deaths last Friday. So yesterday was the most deaths ever in the United States of coronavirus in any 24-hour period. It was not immediately clear to experts whether the increase was due to new counting methods adopted by New York City, where more than 3,000 additional deaths are now accounted for people who died at home and would never seek treatment, but they believe the death was a result. It's horrible to never even go and try to get treatment and you died at home. It's a horrible, horrible thing. Now, Governor Cuomo said that 752 people had died in New York State from the coronavirus in the last day. And he also announced that the state of New York is going to be releasing probable deaths from coronavirus. That also would be what New York City did, which is people who died at home who presumptively had all the symptoms of coronavirus but were not tested, simply because they're saving the test for people who are alive, not for people who are dead, but they're going to count them as victims of coronavirus. So expect when New York State updates or reanalyzes their data that number of deaths will also spike. Now, Cuomo also said that the net change in hospitalizations, which is the ICU admissions, when you have to get intubated with the breathing apparatus, is down. But the state of New York, unfortunately, is not yet out of the woods yet. There are still 2,000 New Yorkers being hospitalized every day, still hundreds, obviously, dying every day. Now, yesterday, Cuomo criticized Donald Trump's claim of total authority to reopen the United States, saying he was talking more like a king than a president. So on Monday, Trump asserted that when somebody is president of the United States, he has total authority. He can do whatever the hell he wants. He could walk down Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody because he's president of the United States. Well, Trump made his comments after Cuomo and the governors on both coasts announced multi-state compacts to coordinate the reopening of society amid this pandemic. Now, New York has become the epicenter of the coronavirus pandemic, and as of recently, the epicenter of the epicenter was Queens, New York. Now, Cuomo said restarting the economy has to be done in a smart, methodical manner. Now, in a tweet on Tuesday, Trump realized he's not the king. The governors of each state are ultimately going to decide on who and when and how we do all of this reopening. Now, Donald Trump tweeted, "Tell the Democratic governors that, quote, Mutiny on the Bounty," which is a famous movie with who was that actor? Mutiny on the Bounty from the 1960s. He was, oh my God, Uncle Brad losing it. Very famous actor, was the captain of a boat, and there was a mutiny on it. And it was a good old-fashioned mutiny. And so Donald Trump writes, I apologize, I'm reading his tweet now as I'm trying to remember the guy's name. Humphrey Bogart. Now I remember. So Humphrey Bogart movie. So he tells the Democratic governors that Mutiny on the Bounty was one of my all-time favorite movies. And it's a good old-fashioned mutiny every now and then, is exciting and invigorating thing to watch, especially when the mutineers need so much from the captain. Too easy. But today he reversed course, and realistically and constitutionally, it's the governors who ultimately decide on what's going to happen. Now, my guess is that when it does happen, life's not going to be the same as we knew it before. There's going to probably be mandatory in most areas, certainly in big cities. It's going to be mandatory that you walk around with a mask on your face. Not so much because the mask is going to protect you from getting coronavirus. It's going to be more because They don't want you to give coronavirus to somebody else. There's going to be social distancing in restaurants. So we'll be back to only 50% capacity in restaurants. Each table has to be 6 feet away from the other. Probably if you sit down in a restaurant, it's going to be paper, as much paper as they can give you, and nothing that's going to be reusable. It's my guess. I don't know for sure. They're probably going to tell office workers, even workers here at Spar and Bernstein, my guess that only maybe 30% or 50% can go back at any given time. Maybe in schools, they're gonna do schools in shifts that maybe perhaps 1/3 of the class will go from 8 to 12, 1/3 of the class will go from 12 to 3, and another third of the class will go from 3 to 6. So there'll probably be shifts of students, so that way all the schools are not all the kids are not in the school at the same time. These are all my guesses. I have no idea. I'm not a public health official, but I'm guessing that's what ultimately is going to happen until the day when there is a treatment and there is a vaccine. And then we will go back to the good old days of 2019 about the biggest argument we had was, whether we should impeach Donald Trump. Remember those days? And we said, wow, this is crazy. We're going to impeach the president. That was calm and tame compared to what's going on today. So Cuomo, as a matter of fact, he just put out an executive order about an hour before we went on the air. He said today that he's going to require everyone in the state of New York to wear a mask or a face covering in public situations in which social distancing is not possible. So if you're in a situation where you're going to be near somebody within 6 feet, like a subway or inside of a building or a restaurant, you are going to be required under law to wear a mask or face a heavy fine from a police officer in New York. In other crazy news, and we can talk about this tomorrow because, I can talk about coronavirus till, the end of the day here. Trump is defunding the World Health Organization, but I do want to get to our hump day stories, simply because it is hump day and we got to have some enjoyment with some quick, funny hump day stories. Now, for everybody out there who doesn't watch regularly my show, Hump Day is our Hump Day News, and you'll see what Hump Day News is in a minute. Unfortunately, it feels every day now is like Groundhog's Day, not Hump Day. So, every day is Groundhog's Day. Monday's Groundhog's Day. Tuesday's Groundhog's Day. Wednesday's Groundhog's Day. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Every day it's Groundhog's Day. You wake up and you say, do you feel like you're living the same day every day? Yes, because I wake up and I go to my living room and I put on my television and I never leave the apartment. So it's good that at least we celebrate Hump Day on Bradshaw Live. We'll take a break from Groundhog's Day. So on March 15th, TMZ reported that they had contacted half a dozen of the biggest brothels in the Las Vegas area, and they were all open for business. On March 15th, the prostitute shops were all open for business. One brothel manager said all the customers had to wear masks when they were having sex with the woman, but that made absolutely no sense. You wear a mask and a condom and you're safe. I don't know how that would work. I don't even know how sexy that could be, but that's what they were doing. Now, another brothel manager said an enormous bottle of a hand sanitizer sat on the bar, and Clorox wipes were used frequently to wipe down doorknobs, bathroom counters, and other surfaces, which is also kind of funny. You can imagine, walking into a brothel and Purelling before you even touch the woman. Now, every brothel TMZ called said they sanitized their establishments on a regular basis. This is the stupidest thing in the world. Who would ever go to a brothel in this time and age? And one of the places said they were sending women home even if they had a slight cold. Now, the famed Mustang Ranch, that's like the famous one in Nevada, said they were checking customers' temperatures before entering. Now, in good journalistic fashion, our Julie Gould, our Julie Bean, read that on April 1st, Governor Steve Sisolak of Nevada closed all of statewide businesses that were not essential. So she was wondering to herself, is the brothel business essential in Nevada? So it's good to know that she called the Mustang Ranch and was told that they are closed until April 30th. It's good to know that even the most intimate of businesses are following social distancing protocols now for safety. In another funny thing I saw in the news, Amy Schumer, who's a comedian, she explained why she and her husband, Chris Fisher, changed the name of their son. Now, originally, the son was born about a year ago or 11 months ago. And she says, I'm quoting Schumer, she says, so you guys know that Gene, our baby's name, is officially changed. And she was on a podcast called Three Girls, One Keith. It's now Gene David Fisher. It was before Gene Genital Fisher, but we realized that by accident we named our son Genital. And genital sounds like genital. So the guest on the show, the actor and comedian Claudia O'Doherty, said her mom had noted the genital issue as well. O'Doherty said, my mom pointed that out to me, actually. My mom was like, Amy's son called her son Genital. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then she was right. And then the last name of Amy's husband is Fisher, and then it became Genital Fisher. Someone on the podcast added to which Schumer agreed and repeated that her son's name sounded like Genital Fissure. So even some media outlets thought the baby's name was a prank when Schumer announced it back in May 2019, but that's truly what she called, and she didn't realize it, and it was kind of funny. In more hump day news, and by the way, this is an immigration show. We will get to immigration, I promise you, but it's hump day. Padma Lakshmi responded to being called immoral for going braless. Now, Padma Lakshmi responded to online trolls who took issue with the Top Chef host going braless while recording a cooking demonstration on social media. I got some comments last time that it was immoral for me to not wear a bra in my own kitchen during the quarantine. Lakshmi, she was 49 years old, captioned in an Instagram photo of herself or video of herself making lasagna. She's making lasagna without a bra. So these people should be happy to note, this is what she says. So these people should be happy to note that I'm wearing two today, 2 bras. But seriously, let's not police women's bodies in 2020. So let me ask you, squad, you think it's okay to not walk around with a bra and take pictures and post them? I don't see what the big deal is. Isn't it no big deal to walk around without a bra on and cook in your kitchen? Another fan wrote, one of the fans wrote on her Instagram, honestly, is anyone really wearing a bra during quarantine anyway? So, and another supporter on Instagram said, why are you so uncomfortable with a fellow woman's nipple? And why do you feel the need to shame another woman for that? Incomprehensible. So, crazy what the police of Instagram and social media are doing. And finally, I've been reading that for single people, it's been very, very difficult to date under quarantine. You go on Tinder, you can't meet anybody. You go on Bumble, you can't meet anybody. All you can do is talk on the phone, watch movies together, and text each other. I mean, dating has completely changed now since this quarantine. So I read an article in the newspaper. New York photographer Jeremy Cohen, he proved that at least there is a little romance still in quarantine. He saw a girl dancing on the roof from his apartment, and he sent her his phone number with a drone. Now, I have a drone too, but if I was going to send a girl a phone number with a drone, I would have crashed the drone, because every time I fly the drone, I crash it. But he was very good with the drone, and an hour later, she texted him, and they set up a long-distance rooftop dinner together where he ate on one rooftop and she was on the other rooftop and ate on her rooftop. He then met up with the girl, her name is Tori, on a real date after they ate opposite rooftops of each other. Now, Jeremy had the social distancing date under control. He showed up in a plastic bubble and even bought flowers and hand sanitizer for Tori as gifts, though he couldn't give them to her because he was in a plastic bubble. Now, Jeremy told BoredPanda.com he had been thinking about buying a plastic bubble because he thought it would be a good way to make people smile walking around the city while also being safe in his plastic bubble. one of his artist friends posted a link to one of his stories, probably as a joke, and Jeremy immediately purchased a bubble. When the bubble arrived in the mail, he realized it would make a perfect second date. Jeremy said that the bubble date with Tori was a lot of fun, but we didn't have much conversation since I couldn't hear her inside of a bubble. But we laughed the whole time. We walked in the neighborhood together, and she must think he is some character. Now, Jeremy said the date went well and joked that he might be in a long-distance relationship with someone who lives across the street from me, depending on how long the quarantine will last. He said, if this story brings joy to people, then it brings joy to me as well. And there you have it, folks. That is our Hump Day edition. I do want to remind everybody to please share this post with as many people as you can. You can share it in YouTube by actually copying the link and sending it on a WhatsApp to all of your friends. You can also post the link and put it in your story on WhatsApp and tell people, hey, I'm watching Bradshaw Live right now. Update your status. You can, on Facebook, you can start a watch party. You know exactly how to start that watch party. And you can tell your friends and family right now, all of whom are on Facebook because everyone's at home, hey, watch this guy Brad. He's going to help you with your immigration issues. Now, every week, and by the way, I hope Tali is in my comment section. It's hard for me to see every comment on YouTube, and telling people to leave some thumbs up. We have right now 27 thumbs up on YouTube and over 60 people watching. That's not enough thumbs up for the number of people watching. I have in my hand my old scruffy hat. And inside my scruffy hat is the names of, I think, about 10 people who followed Bradshaw Live, liked the free consultation post, and tagged 5 of their friends in that post. And that's all they had to do to get their name in Brad's old scruffy hat. And out of this hat, I am going to pull out the winner of the free consultation. Let's see who it's going to be. I want to make sure I touch all of the different names. I did now, and I'm pulling out a name, and the name is the winner of the $200 free consultation. It's worth $200, but I am giving you a free consultation. The winner is Tesha. What is it? Tesha 572. Tesha 572, TESHA 572. So if your name on Instagram is Tesha 572, then guess what? You have won a free consultation with Uncle Brad. All right, with that, please start your watch parties right now on Facebook and YouTube, and I'm going to start answering your immigration questions. We're going to start with YouTube today. Ishan Khan has a question. Brad, my case is an I-751 transfer. It is pending for the last 14 months in Missouri. And the problem is the case after and before my USCIS numbers are approved. Well, how do you know, first of all, that the case right after you and the case before you, those case numbers were approved? I guess perhaps you checked online. Problem is you don't know if those case numbers were also I-751s, all right, because that could have just been a work permit. That could have been a B2 extension. Just because the case number before you and after you was approved doesn't necessarily mean it was an I-751 that was approved. Number two, the I-751s are taking about 18 months, so I wouldn't totally be overly concerned about it at this moment. And as you probably are aware, when you have an I-751 pending, you're still a permanent resident. So you have your green card, everything is fine. Hang out, chill out, wait another 4 or 6 months. I've never actually heard anybody, actually, you're the first, congratulations, and I've been doing this a very long time. I never heard anybody think about, well, I'm going to search the case number before me and the case number after me and see if they were approved. But there's no guarantee. No guarantee it was an I-751 that was approved. Hold on 1 second while I take a swig of water. All right, so Brooks Brown saying hello. And Ken Kibbett, he has a question. He says, hi, Brad. How do you file an adjustment through a VAWA? What forms and what fees? Can you break it down, please? You file an I-485 application with a $1,225 fee. You also submit an I-765 and I-131. You don't need an I-864 affidavit of support, and you submit a copy of the approval of your VAWA application. Viviana 017 has a question. Hi, Brad. Can you tell us what a 245I is? Do I have to wait until our I-130 is approved to file it? We have a precious, I guess, previous I-130 that was filed. Well, 245, Section 245 is the section for adjustment of status. 245I is the section for grandfathering you in. So if you are not otherwise eligible to adjust your status because you're not in legal status or you're not an immediate relative, which would be married to a U.S. citizen, parent of a U.S. citizen, child of a U.S. citizen, and the child being under 21, then you're not eligible to adjust unless you're a 245I, meaning that you had an application that was an approvable, a bona fide application that was either approved or approvable, filed before April 30th, 2001, and you were physically present on December 21st, 2000, or you had anything filed before January 14th, 1998, and that includes being a derivative beneficiary on a relative's application. So it's actually an extraordinarily complicated law. So I would need to know certainly a lot more about what application is grandfathering you in before we determine whether or not you are grandfathered. And yes, you would need to have your I-130 approved first before you actually file your adjustment under the grandfathering. Let's see what else we have here. Sexy Sham Myers wants to know, what happened after your second prima facie expires? Well, your VAWA is still pending, and you need to wait for an approval. You could always request for an extension on the prima facie. Abdulmonian Fami, I really appreciate your great efforts helping people and you supporting people in need. I respect that. Thank you very much. AJ with a question. If the U.S. spouse sends a letter to USCIS stating negative things about the other spouse who is applying for an I-751 with a bona fide marriage waiver, does USCIS accept and believe without proof? No, they don't. And usually, if they're saying negative things about you, unless you committed a crime, having a spouse say negative things against you is not a reason to deny your I-751. If he says, for example, I'm writing, and I'm going to tell you something about AJ. She's a terrible cook. She doesn't know how to clean. She never comes home. She was a horrible wife. Well, guess what? He just proved that it was a bona fide marriage. He's making accusations that only a spouse who is hurt or who feels pained would make. So actually kind of helps you, doesn't hurt you. And if he just says, she used me to get a green card, she paid me money, it's usually taken with a grain of salt, provided that you have enough documentation to prove that it was a real marriage. Different than when you're going for your conditional green card, they will take that stuff a lot more seriously. See who else we got here. Layla Smith. I've been in the country for 1 year. I'm a green card. I've been working for 6 months. I filed my 2019 taxes now. I received a stimulus check. Is it going to be a public charge against me applying for my child's case at the National Visa Center? No, receiving the stimulus check is not going to become a public charge against you. As a matter of fact, I got a direct message on @RealBradBernstein on Instagram. That's the best way to contact me. If you want to be able to contact me and talk to me directly, just send me a DM at @RealBradBernstein. You can follow my page too. It'd be nice. So I got a DM on @RealBradBernstein on Instagram from one of my clients, and she said that she has a pending VAWA, and she does not have a green card yet, but she did file a tax return. File a tax return with her ex-husband with a valid Social Security number, and she got the stimulus check despite the fact that she doesn't have a green card yet. So as I had thought, if you filed a tax return with a Social Security number, you are going to get that stimulus check. Let's see what else is happening here. Dev Vey, hi Brad, good to see you. Please talk about the possibility of DACA. I don't know what's going to happen with DACA. DACA right now is up to the Supreme Court of the United States. They're going to probably issue a decision sometime in June. So sometime in the month of June, we'll hear from the Supreme Court on DACA, whether it is legal for President Trump to end the program or not. I hope they find in our favor, our meaning people who have DACA. I think if they find against DACA people, it would be very difficult, especially now with coronavirus, for Donald Trump. I mean, you would have to have blood. Your blood would have to be ice cold in your veins to say, I'm going to deport kids who came here at a young age, know no other country. They're now adults, and we're going to deport them. And now in the age of coronavirus. So I am sure that they will come to some solution on DACA. I don't know what it will be. Dwanette LaForest. Brad, I'm filing the I-130 visa petition for my daughter who lives in Jamaica. She's unmarried. She's 26 years old. Is there any other forms to file with the I-130? No, just the I-130. That's all you need to do. Fox Racing, people wearing masks and you don't know who is who. You're right. As a matter of fact, I went into the bank today and I had a mask on. And the first thing that went through my head was, I hope they don't think I'm coming to rob the bank. So I took my mask down. I go, I'm just here as a customer. I'm not robbing the bank. And then I put my mask back on because I mean, crazy because you don't know who anybody is anymore. What else we have here on YouTube? And I'm going to get to Facebook in a little bit. And Muwanaki Salim says, hello, Brad. I tried reaching out to the office today. I hope to get some feedback soon. I hope so too. If not, reach out to me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. Original Victoria says, hi, Brad. I have a friend who went up, well, I guess came to the United States, went up on a B1, B2, but she got a job, but someone reported her to ICE. She is now married to a U.S. citizen. Would they deny her from getting her green card? If there is a record that she worked within the first 90 days of her entry into the United States, that's a misrepresentation. If she was reported to ICE and she was put in deportation, then we would have to deal with a deportation situation. But if someone just randomly reported her that she was working and nobody did anything, then I wouldn't worry about it as much. All right, so let's start with YouTube. Let's see what's going on in YouTube right now. And I got to pull up my YouTube questions here. And my YouTube questions are Nuri Mo. I did my I-45 interview in January 2020, and I contacted the USCIS to see what happened with my case, and they said background check. So what does that mean? How long does it take? It means they're running a background check on you, exactly what it means. How long will it take? I wish I had my magic 8-ball here, and I would be able to tell you. I can't tell you without a magic 8-ball. I can tell you, though, if they delay your case indefinitely, they can't. And then that's when they're starting to violate your rights, and that's when you should be talking about a mandamus. I would need to know more about your case before I tell you when to start filing mandamuses. Ishan Khan. I answered his question already. He asked if he was double fisting, obviously, and asked the question both in Facebook and YouTube. Viviana017. Hi, Brad. Can you tell us what 245I is? I answered that one too. Markel Edwards. Hey, Brad, do you think if I get food stamps will affect my application? My interview got canceled. The answer is yes. Getting food stamps is a very good way to get your green card denied. Also, not being able to eat is a very good way to die. So you got to weigh the two. And if you really can't afford food, then to me, what's more important is survival than getting a green card. Natasha Trellis Irby. Hello. If your green card is terminated and USCIS asks you to turn it into them due to not sending in the evidence to go with the I-751, can you reopen your case asking for a friend? No, you cannot reopen an I-751. There's no appeal. What they're going to do is your friend in removal, and then after your friend is put in removal, you can renew the I-751 there. Perhaps also there is a way that you can file a new I-751 based on a different reason. So, for example, perhaps you filed a joint application with your spouse. Now you want to file based on abuse. You can do that. Perhaps you filed based on abuse and you weren't divorced, but now you're divorced. Now you can do that. So you can file a second application based on a different reason for filing the I-751, but you can't appeal it. Sexy Shan Myers, I answered that question with the prima facie. Jamila Hope Guevara says, hey, good day. Can a U.S. citizen daughter file for her mother if her mother is married, mother is currently in Trinidad? Absolutely. There's no requirement that your mother has to be single for you to file for her. The only requirement is that she's your mother, you're a U.S. citizen, and you are over the age of 21. Ulu Chukawuwu, Denny Henry Omid. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. I'll show you your name. There it is. Are you seeing your name? It's a very difficult name. Very, very difficult name. Let's try this one more time. Ulu Chukuwu, Denny Henry Omid. I hope I got that right. Says, hello, Brad. I filed for citizenship since last year and had a fingerprint on December 23rd. It's taking so long to get to me. What's taking so long? What's taking so long to get to me? What is taking so long to get to me? I guess your citizenship. We're in coronavirus time and they're not scheduling any interviews at least until May 3rd. So my guess is that your citizenship interview will be sometime over the summer. Layla Smith. I've been in the country for 1 year. I'm a green card. I've been working for 6 months. I filed my 2019 tax returns. I received a stimulus check. Am I going to be in trouble? The answer is no. Dornette LaForest, Brad, I'm filing the I-130 for my daughter who lives in Jamaica. She is unmarried and 26 years old. Are there any other forms? The answer is no. King Dane, what's the process for a green card holder adopting his nephews in Jamaica? Well, there is, first of all, do not do any adoption in Jamaica until you speak with me. Ultimately, you're going to want to do an orphan petition. That would be the easiest way to get them here, but you have to be a U.S. citizen. If you do an adoption in Jamaica, you got to prove that you lived in the same household with the children for 2 years. You got to show that you had legal guardianship for 2 years. It will be a huge, huge process. Bookie Boo on Facebook. Hi, Brad. Does the public charge rule apply to citizens who are sponsoring their relatives abroad? They absolutely do. Going back to our braless chef on Hump Day, Wa Mahat says, who wears a bra in the house anyway? LOL. Deion Watson, I'm a little slow on the comments, so I'm sorry. Jeff Bosey, how are you? And Deion Watson saying hello as well. Let's see, we're doing social media check-in. Let's see what our other questions would be. Shanti Latif has a question. Hello, hero. Oh, thank you very much. Do I get deported if I withdraw my I-589 while the decision is pending and stick with my I-360? You won't get deported with an I-360 once you get your I-360 approved. Your I-589 is your asylum case. I would just let everything ride, and once you get the I-360 approved, then withdraw the asylum case and then file your adjustment. Uncle Brad, you missed my question. How can the N-400 form fee be waived? There is a form. It's an I-9 something. I'm terrible with form numbers, remembering form numbers. It's an I-9 something. You have to show you're below the poverty level, and you fill out that form. But if you go to uscis.gov, remember, always go to .gov, not .com. .com are some scam artists who are posing as USCIS when they're not. Go to uscis.gov. and look at the form I-9. It's a 900. It's in the 900s. It's the fee waiver. And you just have to show your tax returns and show that you're below the poverty level, or show you're unemployed, or however you want to be able to show you're below the poverty level. They'll waive the fee. Frank Rashidov, hi, Uncle Brad, what happened to DACA? DACA is the same as since President Obama has been in office. Trump tried to end the program. He was sued. The Supreme Court is going to make a decision whether or not Trump can end the program or not, or it's going to continue in its present form around June. We'll find out. Kezi Biji, I'm married, but I'm the beneficiary. Can I do a joint tax return with my husband? Absolutely, and you should. Haroon Gujar, my I-751 is pending after an RFE. We are living in different states, but I deposited several financial evidence and a lot of boarding passes in this situation. How many chances do I have? Well, you only have one chance to prove it's a bona fide marriage, but I think he's asking, what are my chances of getting approved? When you're asking a horse, I'm not calling any immigration officer a horse, but for all intents and purposes, if you ever see the horses going around Central Park, you ever see those iconic pictures, the horses have blinders on. You watch a horse in a horse race, they got blinders on, so because they can't see side to side, they can only see straight ahead. The immigration officers are trained. Do you live together? Do you have a financial relationship? As soon as you ask them to think outside of looking at with these blinders on, you're asking for trouble. Does that mean it's not a real marriage? Does that mean that you'll find perhaps a good immigration officer who will be able to take his blinders off or her blinders off and be able to see the entire picture? Yes, it's possible, but you're reducing your chances substantially. So to me, it's more important that you live together than you keep your job. You can always find a new job in the new place where you're going to be living. Ellingwe Holly, Brad, I filed for my VAWA, and whenever I try to ask about my EAD and advanced parole previously filed concurrently with the I-45 and I-130, my spouse, I'm asked to contact Vermont Service Center. Is this correct? Yes, because right now that's where your adjustment is, because you filed your VAWA application, so they're not going to move on your adjustment application until your VAWA is approved. Sean Smith, hi Brad, how can I prove I am not a public charge if I don't have a social security number to obtain a job, credit report, tax, and health insurance? Thank you. It's called an affidavit of support from your American citizen petitioner. Nuri Mo, please, Mr. Brad, my question is background check. It's the same investigation after I-45 interview, I mean. And my answer to you is that at some point, they have to approve your case or deny your case. They can't just say investigation, background check for years and years and years. So minimally, you got to give it 120 days. The reality is there's not a judge who's going to prove your mandamus until your case has been pending more than 1 year, waiting on a background check. But the law requires them to make a decision in 120 days. I recommend mandamus after 1 year. Claudia Garcia, hi Brad, I'm under DACA. My work permit expired in March. I filed on time. I had received my application receipt on November 6th. I have yet to get a biometrics appointment. I later called and they told me that the case got sent to Vermont under VAWA, but I'm under DACA. They say it's a special case and can't tell me anything through the phone. I've written a letter in March and I haven't heard anything yet. What do I do? Sounds like this is a complete mess, an absolute mess. I don't have the answer for you, but it sounds like your case is a mess and you need, at this point, the help of a lawyer to sort it out. But it sounds like an absolute mess. I don't know what to tell you to do at this moment other than call me and let's figure it out. Shazid Asif. Hi, on a K-1, I got married. Can apply for adjustment of status without the marriage certificate since courts are closed. You need to be able to show that you are legally married. So you saying you got married is not enough. You do need a marriage certificate. Moya Douglas. How long will it take for step-parent filing for kids? Uncle Brad, my filing date is October 20th, 2019. It depends where your children are. If you're filing an adjustment here in America, it's about 12, 14 months. If they're home in another country, also 12, 14 months. So my answer is 12, 14 months. Back on YouTube. Olu Wosabulu Ross. I am calling now. I'm waiting online. No one's picking up my call. Please try again because you have to understand that we're all working from home. So because we're all working from home, sometimes, we can't give you the service that we generally like to give you simply because we're all working from home at that particular moment. So please try call again. Or what you can do, Olu Wobu Solo, is send me a DM in Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. And if you send me a DM on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein, you can give me your telephone number and I'll have my office call you tomorrow. Chanelku, I don't know what your first, hi Brad, says, hi Brad, blessings to you and your family. Hopefully you're staying safe. I want to start the process of citizenship, but I'm disabled and I'm on EADC. I don't know what EADC is. Will that affect me? No, there's no public charge requirements for citizenship. Juan Montoya, Uncle Brad, how long does it take to get a prima facie after summits the application 360? You want to know how long a prima facie is going to take? It'll take about 3 to 4 months, hopefully. Apki Afram on YouTube. Hi, Brad. My husband came with an IR1 visa. Can he apply for a social security number online since the social security number is closed? Yes, absolutely. Try to do that. Purple Queen. Good morning, evening. Good morning, evening. Purple Queen writes, good morning, evening. Okay. Good morning, evening, Uncle. My I-360 was approved in January 2020. Do I get a card after my interview? If you have to apply for a work permit, and you have to apply for your green card through an I-485. So hopefully you apply for the I-485 and you'll get your green card that way. Althea Brown, hey Brad, do you do about orphan petition? I know a lot about orphan petitions. Ask your question. Leslie Benoit, my friend has a pending adjustment. He was abused by his wife. He filed for a VAWA. Does a Child Protective Service finding affect his case? The Child Protective Service case was expunged. Yes, because you have to prove you're a person of good moral character on a VAWA case. So the fact that Child Protective Services brought you up on charges, and if it's criminal charges, I don't know what you mean by expunged, but certainly it does affect your good moral character. Amber Reed, hi Brad. How many affidavit letters from friends and family to prove a bona fide marriage is a good amount to send with the I-130? You don't have to submit any. You have to prove it's a bona fide marriage at the time of the interview, not at the time of filing the I-130 visa petition. All right, going back to Facebook. Let's see where we left off. Claudia Garcia. Okay, we answered Claudia Garcia. She was with the DACA that got all screwed up and they thought it was a VAWA case. Shazid Azif, I answered that one too. That was about the marriage certificate, filing a K-1 without a marriage certificate. Rose Edson, can I travel with my K-1 visa fiance as an immediate family member? The only thing we are waiting on is the interview. I'm currently in the foreign country. I'm waiting to leave. Yeah, if you have a K-1 visa, you can absolutely travel as long as they have a plane that flies to America. Right now, the borders are all closed. Ex Del Mundo, my wife is a J-1 visa holder. I'm a green card holder. Her waiver was denied and she didn't get a no objection letter. Can I file an I-130? Her visa expires December this year. Can she stay after while waiting approval of the I-130? She's going to end up staying out of status, and if that's the case, she's going to have to wait on you becoming a United States citizen, then filing an adjustment and doing a waiver based on extreme hardship. Olu Suwanaya Richards on Facebook. I just lost her question. There it is. I got a letter of intent to deny saying that my previous marriage was not terminated in my home country because USCIS couldn't get a copy from my home country to confirm the authentication of the divorce decree I submitted. That's a problem, especially from African countries. USCIS doesn't seem to believe any of these divorce decrees are valid. Give me a call and let's figure it out. Sim Allen. I am out of status here in the United States. I overstayed on my visa. How can I get a green card apart from marriage? It's called Have a Consultation with Uncle Brad. 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Let's go back to YouTube. And on YouTube, I missed a lot of questions here, apparently. On YouTube, Purple Queen, I don't have my green card, but if I file and get the $1,200 in my bank account today, that's congratulations. Yes, as long as you filed your tax return with a valid Social Security number, it appears that you're going to get your stimulus checks. Harun Rashid says, my I-751 is pending after the RFE. We are living in different states. I deposit several financial evidence and a lot of boarding passes. Oh, what are my chances? I answered that question already. Fula Farang, hello, okay, hero. I answered that question too. Althea Brown. Does a orphan petition work when the child's living with me here in the United States? It's my grandchild. I want to help him get his green card. He's only 7. I wouldn't do an orphan petition if the grandchild is living with you and he is not living with his parents. I would do a special juvenile immigrant, go into family court, get full guardianship of that child, prove that it's not in the child's best interest to be returned to the biological parents because of abuse, neglect, or they just can't financially support this kid. And then the judge will give you a special juvenile immigrant petition order that it's not in the child's best interest to be returned to the parents. And then the child can file an adjustment as a special juvenile immigrant. When you're not adopting the kid, you're just becoming the child's legal guardian. Give us a call, 1-800-529-5465. AJ, follow-up. So if you have enough evidence to prove a bona fide marriage, should it not matter if the United States spouse lies about the marriage or says negative things about the other spouse? As I said, and I remember this question was on an I-751. As I said, they are less likely to believe the spouse on the removal of the condition, saying it was not a bona fide marriage, especially when you have lots of evidence. It just looks like a grieved spouse. Gianna Jean, is it possible to book with you, Uncle Brad? Yes, it is. I don't just entertain. Well, I do at this moment only entertain through phone calls. Lawyers are not considered, although I may disagree, but lawyers are not considered jobs that are essential worker jobs, and therefore we're working at home right now. So we're not allowed to meet with you, but we can speak with you on the telephone, and the telephone number is 1-800-529-5465. And finally, on YouTube, hi Brad, if some of the beneficiary has completed USMLE, how much does it help in AOS interview? What is the USMLE? I don't know what the USMLE is. Gervonta, the smart kid Stewart. Tell me what the USMLE is. Gervonta, the smart kid Stewart. My wife is a green card holder. She filed for my son, and in August 2019, her son too. He's 6 years old. So your wife filed for your son. How long should this take? About 2 years. Cruce de la Torre. Hi, Brad. What is your take when a U.S. citizen retires and the pension is only $1,200? They cannot live here in the U.S., so they marry other nationalities and retire abroad where their $1,200 is just enough. I think a lot of pension plans, if they find that you're living abroad, that may negate the pension. Social Security, I know you can't get paid Social Security abroad. Although a lot of times people go move abroad, Social Security doesn't know you moved abroad, and they're sending the checks to your domestic U.S. account. I don't know. It depends. You have to see what that particular pension plan requirements are to collect your pension. Nikkei Bay on Facebook says, when will USCIS start processing cases again? They are processing cases. They've been processing cases every day. The only thing that you are not getting is an interview. Ahmad Maren says the United States medical licensing exam, a degree required to start the residency. Yes, Ahmad, it would help substantially because it shows that you are an educated person who will be making a substantial money as a medical doctor. So yes, it would help substantially in the interview in you overcoming poverty guidelines. And finally on YouTube, Javante, the smart kid steward, said she filed for my son and I. It takes about 2 years as a green card holder. That's what it is. 2 years if you're in another country, Javante. On Facebook, this is my last question of the day, guys. My last question of the day. Deanne Murdoch. Hey, my sister is living here. She's 36, and she's going to be married to a 72-year-old man. Would it cause a problem going on the interview with immigration? Yeah. There's a big age difference between 36 and 72. Although if it's a bona fide marriage and they're going to be living together, then be my guest. You know, Al Pacino, he's in the 70s. He's dating a 20-something-year-old woman, I think. So it's a huge age difference. There will be red flags about the bona fides of the marriage. But if it is a real marriage and they live together and they're in love with each other and they have financial relationship, they'll pass. If you go on the interview and they still question it, well, then come to my home. You'll see we're living together. That's all that's required. It's a legal marriage, 72 and 36. It's just unusual. And that, folks, is Bradshaw Live Hump Day Pandemic Quarantine Edition. I do want to remind everybody that my office is open. You can call my office at 1-800-529-5465. You can schedule to be on my list of people to call tomorrow, either if you're a current client or you want a consultation with me. But the way to get on my list so I can call you personally or privately is call my office and schedule it. 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. And great job by the Bradshaw crew today. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but we have upped our game a lot and did a fantastic job of producing this entire show from each of our bedrooms. Nobody is seeing each other. So it's an amazing job the crew is doing as well. Brad Squad, please stay safe. Practice social distancing. This will be over eventually. There'll be a new normal for about a year, and then we'll go back to the old normal. But this will all be over eventually. We'll be back to old normal, hopefully soon. In the meantime, I do have to remind everybody that prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. And with that, I will see you all tomorrow. As they say in France, au revoir.